pasta producers to give me maximum everything for this show. I never thought in a million years that they'd put me on the biggest zip line in the Americas. And here we are. So happy I did it. I'm so full of adrenaline still. I still feel my heart like popping out of my chest. I'm Adrianne Calvo, chef, author, traveler, and restaurateur. I've been cooking for as long as I can remember, and along the way, I created a little something called maximum flavor. That's my style of cooking. I want to activate all parts of the palate: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and spicy, sending delicious endorphins to your brain. And now, I'm on the hunt for inspiration. Join me as I head out in search of maximum flavor. Welcome to San Juan, Puerto Rico, a city with so much history. Technically, it's the oldest city under U.S. jurisdiction. Sorry, St. Augustine. Puerto Rico is a vibrant blend of cultures, a Caribbean island that was once a Spanish territory and is now a U.S. Commonwealth. Everything on this island has a story, and believe me, I mean everything. And with so much history, you better believe there's some amazing food and drink here. But I'm here to learn about two things: pork and rum. I really think this is going to be an amazing trip. But before we get to the pork, I'm thirsty for knowledge, guys. So along with my corporate executive chef, Egg, we headed off to the home of the most popular rum on earth, Bacardi, to learn more about the well-known spirit from this guy. Meet Christian.
It started off with our founder wanting to actually make the world's first light-bodied rum, because rum back then was actually quite harsh. Imagine it being something like Everclear, but back in the day in the Caribbean. So Facundo, coming from a family that was involved in the spirits industry in Europe, he was a man that knew a bit about these premium spirits that we're used to seeing in Europe. So his idea was to change the production of how to make rum. It was bringing in the charcoal filtration, using molasses, using a specific strain of yeast, and aging these rums for a good amount of time. Little details that makes the difference.
Well, they say, details are the difference between like good and great.
Speaking of great, here's a great side note. Did you know the national drink of Puerto Rico is the piña colada? Fun fact, it was definitely created here on the island, but exactly where is up for interpretation. Some say Barrachina is the original, and the bartenders there are very, very passionate about that fact. And some would argue it was the Caribe Hilton.
Nosotros somos el número uno en inventar la famosa piña colada.
Originally, it was created here in the Caribe Hilton.
But I'm not worried about that right now because both are delicious, and if you know me, you know I'm an on-the-rocks type of girl, which is perfect because Bacardi has some rums that work great on the rocks, and your girl is gonna taste them all. For research, of course.
Our Bacardi Añejo 4, we have our Reserva 8, our Gran Reserva 10, and our Casa Bacardi Reserva Especial. When we craft rum, it's like making cocktails. Instead of using one ingredient for a single tone, we add many different rums to add many tones to your palates. Flavor at the maximum.
Maximum flavor.
If you were to have a go-to rum, what would it be for you two?
The Bacardi 4.
You would
Yeah.
enjoy it the way it is,
Yes,
and in cocktail.
on the rocks with a cocktail. Yeah.
I would do Reserva 8. I'm more of a on the rocks. I like drier drinks.
Yeah.
So I just think that it lends itself very beautifully to be a delicate balance with like the 2 slices of orange peel.
Or even a nice chuleta cancan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Chuleta cancan.
Cancan. You gotta say it with the, cancan. Do you guys know where to have a great chuleta cancan? What places
Where
out
do
there?
you go?
So one of my places that I love to go, Raíces, is a wonderful place. Really great chuleta cancan, perfectly crunchy.
I think I know where we're headed.
All right, perfect.
I'm not one to argue with a local's recommendations, so we headed off to Raíces, and oh man, am I happy I did.
I mean, look how many things as a diner that you get. You get the rib, you get the actual pork loin right here, you get the fillet, which is like this little eye right here. It's the most tender part of a pork chop. But then all along here you get pork belly. But then if that wasn't enough, you get crispy skin, known as the chicharrón. This is pork done maximum flavor style.
and it looks spectacular, and this is amazing. And I hope we can bring this cut of pork to one of our restaurants.
So this hasn't hit Miami yet whatsoever. So when people receive this cut, like, they're gonna be like, wow. I don't think there's a pork cut as grand.
Wow. Maximum crunch.
Oh, 12 out of 10. Spectacular. Outstanding.
Perfect.
Life-changing.
When traveling, I love having a plan. Come on, who doesn't? But I also believe sometimes you gotta go with the flow. And on this trip, everyone, and I mean everyone, has told us to visit Culebra. So we booked a boat to see what all the fuss was about. Culebra is an island that, according to Google, is closer to St. Thomas than it is to Puerto Rico, which makes all the sense in the world because when you get there, it definitely looks like the Virgin Islands. It's about an hour speedboat trip from the nearby port city of Fajardo, and believe me, it's worth every single minute. Here you're going to find gorgeous beaches, great snorkeling, and if you're on my boat, a tropical flavored test kitchen. We're gonna grill up some delicious protein, some salmon, some pork, and I thought, why not add some maximum flavor to it? We're gonna make a pineapple relish. It's easy, it's delicious, and we're gonna do it maximum flavor style. Fun little moment while we were here, Egg decided to make us some delicious piña coladas, her secret recipe, but using Bacardi Añejo Cuatro. Let's try. Delicious and even more delicious in this beautiful backdrop. Well, to say the trip was fruitful would be a complete understatement. The flavors on the island are exactly why I started the show in the first place. Inspiration came from everywhere, and this is what came of it. Meet our pork chop. This stunning cut of meat is what we call a super high quality piece of pork. Think Wagyu or Kobe, but pork. Our purveyors deliver this cut, which is the basis for the dish. The only way to give them a maximum flavor upgrade was to brine it. So we're gonna add some tenderness, some juiciness, and a ton of flavor into the center of the pork chop. For that added wow factor, we're going to have equal parts sugar, salt, water, a little bit of citrus with lemon juice, tons of garlic, rosemary, thyme. We're gonna let that sit in the ice box for 24 hours. Then we're going to preheat our oven 450 degrees, 45 minutes, then it's sexy time. Into the fryer it goes to get all that wow and yumminess going. We are going to plate some chimichurri on this. It's the same thing as when we were on the boat, pineapple relish and the jalapeno, same type of play. We'll top it with some pickled onions, and the acidity from the onions and the chimichurri is gonna play super well with all the fattiness and all the goodness from this pork chop. And this is how you do a chuleta cancan maximum flavor style. Want to watch more of this? Make sure to subscribe for more maximum flavor.